Mpasua Msonobari TV, pale ambapo habari hukutana na wataalamu.
Hello. For the last few months now, Kenya has heard a lot about the alleged abuse and disappearance of a gentleman called Tob Cohen, who's a Dutchman who lives and works in Kenya, runs his business with his wife Sarah. And for the last few weeks, a lot has been speculated, a lot has been said, a lot has been reported, mostly by the media and mostly from sources affiliated with Tom. Sarah has not said a single thing in public regarding this issue until today. So this is Sarah's side of the story.
My name is Sarah Cohen. I am 51 years old. I'm a wife, mother, a business person, and a friend to many. I live and work in Nairobi with my husband. We have a company, Tob Limited, that takes care of tours and travel.
What's your husband's name?
My husband's name is Tob Cohen, and we live in Nairobi, and that's where we work and live. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been seeing reports in the media, both newspapers and online media, both locally and in the Netherlands, about Tob and his whereabouts and what has been happening in his marriage and all those things. So from your point of view, because we've not heard your voice, we've only heard what has been reported either by him or by people affiliated with him. So what's your story? What's going on?
Right now I am very raw emotionally because one, I can't find my husband. He doesn't seem to answer his calls. Nobody has seen him, and there are all sorts of rumors and publications that are milling around saying that he has disappeared. One of my pains is no one has called to ask my husband's whereabouts, and yet the first thing I wake up on a Monday is people sending me messages and asking me what's going on. My husband left on the 20th of July from home, and he was in good spirits, and he left and said that he was going for a break and needed also to get medical help. When we talk medical, I don't see my husband going to any local hospital. He's never trusted them. And that is why one of the services we offer is medical tourism as part of our work as a tours and travel agency. We are a referral office for some of the very good quality hospitals in Thailand. So definitely, if he was going to look for medical attention, that would be the direction he would take.
What was the medical attention for?
Tob is not a young man. He's going to be 70 very soon. He's a chimney smoker. That is slowing him down. Tob, in the last 5 years, his mental state has also been failing. I would like to point this out that for a long time Tob has been abusing a substance, and this is one of the reasons why, unknowns to many, he had all this aggression. couldn't handle situations, and he actually tended to be with always the wrong company, because it was all about fights. It was never about making peace. It was never about growth. It was all about vindicating others and that kind of a thing. So I know that these are issues that were giving him a lot of mental anguish. He has not been sleeping much. He sleeps like for 2 hours, and then he wakes up. Then he smokes again. Then he goes back to sleep. So, if assuming he went to bed like 2 o'clock, he would be up like almost 3 times before morning. So I tend to think that that's not a very healthy way also for someone to live. So he's ever edgy, his diet is also a little bit lacking, because Tob craves a lot of chili, very, very hot food, a lot of coffee, very conk coffee. And now when you look at the smoking, I think he becomes very acidic. And I think you can see where his temperaments also stem from. Okay, he's always been temperamental, and has a very temperamental, I would say. But you can see that these are also factors that also push him to the edge.
When you mention smoking, is it just cigarettes, cigars?
Well, he'll probably knock 2 packets down in a day.
Of cigarettes?
Cigarettes, normal cigarettes. But I also know that he's been substance abusing, and probably, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but weed, they would call it weed, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so going back to this, him leaving on the 20th, you said, of July 2019. Why did he leave? What happened? What had been happening before?
Okay, it's been a very busy year for me, because we started seeing all these signs happening, and him just going against people, and we thought something is wrong. But anybody who crossed his path just got a lot of his wrath, thrown at him. I would see things like he's fighting with clients, with auditors, and implicating them in issues, and there was always this word about fixing people. And I did mention to him that, this is not the way to live. At your age, you must keep all your relationships in good repair, because you also don't have time to make new ones and even to develop them, because at that age, it's not always uphill, it's a decline. And knowing your health status, you definitely need to slow down on a few things. Little did I know that this was not also going well with him. And there were quite a number of people who would complain about his outburst in the club. Then we had a party in my daughter's Kikuyu wedding in December
of 2018.
And strange things started happening.
Like what? What happened?
All of a sudden there was a lot of in the evening we could tell by 4 o'clock there was something going on, because you could see he's very agitated and spoiling for a fight. And those members who had been there for the wedding from the club, they were like, here he comes, because they knew that mode, especially in the club. And by evening, by 7 o'clock, it was so bad, because he had managed to insult almost all the guests.
What was he telling them?
Okay, first it was about the wife. He wasn't very happy with the way we conducted the whole ceremony. But not because it was bad, but simply because he'd never... he participated, but initially he didn't want to have that event. And
so he didn't want the traditional wedding to be done?
Yeah, it's a little bit of nonsense, because he's not the one getting married. It was my daughter getting married.
Was he opposed to her husband? Or what was his opposition to the home?
Truth is, if she's made her choice, she's made her choice. Correct. So you support her. So you cannot come to say that that's the wrong man. Do you have a right one for? Are you going to marry her?
Of course not.
So swallow it and support them, because what you want is the best of her. And if she brings somebody and says that this is the man that I love, and being a level-headed girl, we didn't have any questioning to do. And Marco has just been a wonderful kid.
Marco is the husband.
Yes, the husband to my daughter, and he's a wonderful child. He's got a great, very supportive family, and I'm happy because they really love my daughter as their own. So there was a lot of screaming and shouting and some very obscene things.
Now, this is at the party in December? At
the party in the evening. And you know, in the evening, that's when now the young people are active. They're having their drinks, they're having their meat.
Was this at home?
Yes, in my backyard. And there we are. And he starts soliciting for sex from my daughter's girlfriends and boys.
That's in front of everybody?
Yes.
What do you mean by boys?
Like he wants to have sex with young men.
Does he have a history of being a bisexual?
Apart from the comments he makes that's a gay, that's a lesbian, or that kind of a thing. Because I think in Holland they're very open about it. But here we don't do those things. In fact, what I normally see is in a function like this, wazes always go to their side. He will get his friends and they'll go to their side, and he'll give them whatever he had, prepared for them. The young people would be on this side. My dear husband was everywhere.
Now, when he started saying those things, of course, as his wife, you were offended. What was your reaction?
Number one, this was a catch-22. You cannot go and start reprimanding him in front of his everybody. What you would do is either to tell people to ignore and let him be. Okay, I took option B. I don't know if that was the right one. And we just went about our business and we ignored him. But this fire fully ignited him. And he was all over. He would go to every table and say, I am so and so, this is my home, and that's my wife and my daughter, and I'm going to divorce them. He kept on saying that the whole night. So at one point, all his friends were just looking at him, and I was a bit disappointed that no man even stood to say, Tob, stop this, you can't do this in front of you. It's like they were spoiling to see me fight with him. But
at any point, was there a verbal or physical altercation between you and him?
He did follow me to the kitchen once and to accuse me that I have delayed the opening of the bar, so his friends are leaving. And I told him, the children have their own program. I'm not running the bar or evening. I was only doing the day. So if your friends can be patient, that would be okay. And he insisted, and he said, and he would kept on shouting to the staff that if he doesn't get the alcohol now, he's going to fire everybody. So a lot of stuff went on, which was not nice. And a lot of guests were really offended, both local and international. So you find that after a few days, most of them went to the police station and also reported that that was not proper.
They went and reported that this was happening?
Yes.
Which police station did they
went
go
to? The Spring Valley Police Station.
Spring Valley Police Station.
Yes.
So there's a record of him misbehaving during this event and doing the things that he was doing?
Actually, since 2014, Tob has really just gone wild. And whenever he got into some of these behaviors, I would go and report to the police station. Number one, I was never sure if this is normal to report. So even when I went the first time, I was very scared. And I said, this is happening. Are these things that one can report? And they said, yeah, madam, you're being abused and you don't know. And I was like, okay, fine. So he was called and he was livid and he went on fully. And from then on, it was like war. And before you know it, he has happy moments and sad moments. And then I could see he was using a lot of whatever it is that he uses. But there was never any evidence in the house because I'm the one who cleans up his wardrobe, his clothing, so I would know if there was something. But you would always know he's under some influence.
All right. Yeah. Now, you said that he mentioned divorce in December during the event. He kept telling people that he'll divorce you. Had the issue of divorce ever come up before? Had
no,
he ever threatened to divorce you before?
No, he's always said he will not divorce me because if he divorces me, he would lose half of the house. So I was like, supposing I feel like divorcing you, we'd have those conversations.
Yeah.
And he would say, no, you will not divorce me because I can't get another you.
Did you ever have a reason to divorce him? You?
No. Because I think when you marry someone and for long, you sort of adopt them. They become your children. So he's also part of the management program. So, no.
In December 2018, during your party, he mentioned that he wanted to divorce you. From what we've been seeing in the press, of course he went ahead with that. So could you tell us what happened after December 2018?
Okay, so I hear this public announcement that I'm going to be divorced, and I'm wondering, why public? Did you need courage?
When was this?
December 22nd.
Oh, during that event.
Yeah,
now.
so I'm wondering, did he need courage to make those pronouncements, or was it just to public humiliate me? We swallowed that. We didn't say anything. Remember, I have a lot of guests from abroad and also locally, people who respect us, people who respect him. But now you don't know what will happen now with that kind of utterances, because a divorce is not something that is even pronounced by a lot of us, because it's always seen like you're terminating your whole life. There's a lot of other negative connotations. But again, I left it at that. So it went on until 5 in the morning. Then the following day, we just did the set up clearance and everything, and seeing a lot of guests who are leaving because it was pre-Christmas. And on the 23rd, he declined to join us on a safari with the other guests. We went ahead, we left him at home, and we had a nice quiet time. I sent him an email and I told him, this is how you behaved. This is how you behaved the night before. There was no response from him. So we are at Mount Kenya Safari Club having dinner at 8:30. I get a distress call from my workers. I had left behind the houseman, a young, my painter, my old painter. He's like family, so he's always around me when there are functions. And then also his son called Sammy. Sammy does... Whose son? The painter, Mr. Kema. So the son is called Sammy. So whenever Sammy, whenever there's a little bit of money, I always try to get him to do a course. And whenever he has time on his hands, and he's allowed to come home and work in my office just to familiarize himself with the office work, and he'll do a little bit of messengering, which is not much. But when he's at home, I also give him work, as in the household work. So he will take care of the dogs and some general cleaning like everybody does when they're at home, in their own home. Chris, the houseman, is calling and he's incoherent. So I asked him to hand the phone over to Sammy. So Sammy explained to me that Mzee woke up at 9:30 and he asked where everybody is, and Sammy said we had left. And he said no one should talk to him today, he's in a war mode. Then he instructed that at 6 in the evening there will come a man called Alex, and Sammy should go and fetch him from nearby another school that is in our neighborhood. And can they make sure that all the phones are off and nobody should communicate with me? Okay. The boys say there was no power, so no one communicated during the day, and probably there was nothing to communicate. But come 6 o'clock, Alex did appear. And when Alex appeared, there was a big argument between Mzee and Chris, who is the houseman, because he had instructed Chris to go and get the safe from where we keep it in the master bedroom area, and to take it out to the patio, whereby now he wanted to have it broken into. So the argument between him and Chris was, why are you doing this when Mama is away? Why do you want to break? Why don't you ask for the combination from her? But he didn't want to do that. So Chris was looked at as defiant, and told to go to his quarters. So when this Alex came, apparently he was they are called Iron Smith or whatever, or those lock pickers. And what happened was that it was strange how you just got someone to just come and break into the safe at home. And it took them 2 hours to drill, to break the safe. Sammy is the only one who was allowed to remain, to witness what was going on. So when the safe was broken, he had Mzee say, "Oh, I got what I was looking for." Basically, in the safe, you have all those materials that you don't want exposed out there. You have the deed to the house, some of our documents, you know.
When eventually you looked in the safe, what had been taken? What did he take?
When we came back, the safe was broken out there, gaping, empty.
So he removed all your documents?
He removed everything. So then after the removal, he took Alex, or this Alex person, to I think he was going to drop him to some place convenient for him to get transport from. Then he turns to Chris and he says, "Because of the trouble you gave me, you better leave now before I fire you." Chris said, "No, I cannot leave without Mama being here, because the next thing you'll say I'm the one who has broken into the safe." He was told, "Okay, you'll see." So he went, dropped Alex, and then he came back with 2 cops from Springburg police station, and they marshaled Chris out to the police station. So now Sammy and the father are frantic because they are seeing these things happening. So they call me and I told them the best thing is for you to get out of there, because I don't want to come and fish you from the police station, and it's in the middle of the night. So Sammy and the father had to walk in the middle of the night to their relative, the closest relative in Shaurimoy. So then I had to look for the OCS, the then OCS of Spring Valley Police Station, Mr. Awiyo, and requested him to release my worker because Mzee is drunk and I don't know what, and it's Christmas Day. He was kind enough to release him with a letter that he should report on this and that day. So that was the 25th, or not 24th, Christmas Eve. Then we come to Christmas Day. I get a call from the deputy OCS, Miss Njeri, Spring Valley Police Station, and she asks me, "Where is the title deed to the house?" And I'm like, "I left it in the safe." So she says, "Mzee says that it's not in the safe." And I said, "Did someone break the safe? Because if the safe was broken, then whoever broke should know where they. But I'm away. When I come back, I'll come and see you." Okay, that was left like that.
Let me ask a question before you proceed. How come he didn't have the combination and you did to the safe?
We all have, but I'm sure he's forgotten.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I'm there to remember some of it. Sometimes he doesn't remember. So look, I'm the wife. I know where everything should be. I know how to keep his deeds and everything ready for action, and I know how to keep our paperwork safe. I think that falls on the wife's diary most times. Anyway, I'm supposed to be his helper, remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Then we came back from safari on 27th. It was a very difficult time for me because I'm away. I don't know what's happening at home. Mzee has gone crazy, and I know he's been drinking, and probably now he's even gone overboard with whatever drug issues and whatever he has, the abuse. So but I'm trying also to be very strong, because here I am, I have these visitors, and I don't want to show them and my daughter that I am shaky, but they could still see. Anyway, 27th we returned home to a very rude reception. And because there are no workers, I call him and I say, "We're gonna be home in this and that time. Can you open the gate for us?" And he said he'll open the gate. So when he opened the gate, he only managed to open the padlock, pushed it a little, and asked Marco to come and open the gate. And he told Marco that you should call me Daddy, and if you can't call me, I'll show you what I do to my enemies. He told Marco. So Marco, being who he is, Marco just shakes his hand, and he goes about. So he prepares all of us so that, because we all wanted to go to the police station. So I had gotten calls from other friends who said they would want to report this. So we all agreed. We all went to the police station, and I think we were like almost 11 of us, and we put down statements of the happenings of the 22nd. Then after that, we left for, I think the following day or so, 28th, we left for Malindi because there was a plan already. And on the 2nd, everybody came and people started leaving, and then we were left together with Mzee. He's so normal, it's like nothing ever happened. I'm like, this is not okay. So at one point I asked him, do you realize the seriousness of what you have done? You have a lot of apologies to do. And then he says, yeah, that's why I'm taking responsibility and divorcing you. I said, you just keep saying that. Why don't you just do it? He says, yeah, I will do it at my own time. I left it because sometimes he says a lot of things. And then on the 2nd of February, I came to Nyeri.
2nd of February. No?
February, yeah. I come to the farm. I have a little farm in Nothaya near the forest that I love for the scenery and also for that quiet time. And I'm here, and the next thing is, I'm coming over here. The next thing, I get a call from my worker on the farm saying that my husband has come in, taken pictures of what I'm doing, and insulted the workers and left. So I called him to ask him, why are you insulting the workers? And he didn't answer. So I left it at that. I said I'll deal with it when I go to Nairobi.
Are these the same workers?
No.
The same worker who had been arrested?
No, this is now at the farm.
Here.
He's called Simon. Yeah. So when I went back on the 5th, just immediately after I got into the compound, I get a call. It's from a dear friend and a sister of some kind, Nancy. And she says, there's something wrong with your husband because last Saturday he kept on telling people that he is married to a prostitute from Nyeri, and that a lot of maneno. And I said, and they're very unhappy, the women in the club are very unhappy that he keeps on abusing Kenyan women. And I said, the best thing to do is you call him directly and you tell him. And she did. And of course he denied everything. So some conversations ensued between me, her, and their friends because they were all together. And I said, you know what, let's either, the best thing is for you girls now to talk to him and tell him what he's doing is wrong. Because even if I go to him, he'll just deny everything. At least you heard it. Okay. So later on, after I had showered and refreshened, I went to his office, and I asked him what was going on and why did he have to come and insult people at the farm. And if he had any questions, why didn't he ask me? And he started going about the development on the farm and stuff. And I said, that's not even the issue. The issue is why you have to go and badmouth me in the club in front of my friends and your friends. And then you deny. Nancy just called you. He said, no, it's not true. Now he gets agitated. He's all over throwing throwing hands around. And I said, Tob, at your age, you should know better. These things, you still do them, and you did them in your teenagehood. You're still doing them. How do you expect people to respect you? He said, no, it's not like that. And he had a glass with like a quarter of water. He hit it and it spilled on his shirt. And I said, I can't talk to you about this now. We'll take this. I said, it's not over. We'll talk about it later, because there was stuff in the office. And I left it at that. That was on the 5th. Come the 8th, something also very strange happened. 8th was a Friday, and I'm sitting on the terrace, unwinding. It's been a good day. There were no commotions that day. Remember, from December, I've not had peace. There's always this, there's always that, little provocations here and there. And I knew that this guy was up to no good. And I've seen him fight enemies, or whatever he terms as enemies. He'll go to an extent of even vindicating you, getting you intimidated, police, court. He's like that. And I'm seated there, and he comes around 9:30, very drunk. And he starts conversing, and I said, no, Tob, that's not my area. The areas I always know with him. If he starts having a drink, after the second one, you don't want to have the third conversation. And the next thing, he went to the house, came out very intoxicated. So I knew he had upped something in his system. And the next thing is, I'm on the floor. He's hit me. I'm on the floor.
So did he punch you, or did he hit you with an object, or what?
No, his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
he threw me.
Mm-hmm.
He threw me on the floor, and I was just rolling on the steps, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then he starts following me, and the dogs thinks he's joking, and the dogs are big, and the next thing, they're all rolling down the steps. And the worker, Chris, was going to his, he had just finished with the house, and he was going to his quarters. He saw what was happening. Chris has a very good heart, and he ran. And he could see Mzee coming after me.
So had you also rolled down the same steps?
I'm hanging between flower pots, and I'm in shock because Mzee has never lifted a hand at me before.
All right, so let's talk about Tom's siblings. As you mentioned before, he has a brother and a sister.
Yes.
And of course, we've seen the media reports about his sister and the things that she's been saying. So, could you give your view on that, the background of that relationship, and why it's gotten to that point?
Okay. Tob has two siblings, the brother Bernard and the sister Habri. And Habri has been trending with her outbursts about me and how I've been a burden to them. And I'm actually very surprised that she came with guns blazing instead of even calling me to find out about the whereabouts of her brother when I last saw him. Has he lost his phone because it's happened before? Can she talk to me through my phone, or just getting a background information of what she didn't reach him, she didn't reach us, and the next thing, it's in the media and not in the best of light. So I would not want to be judgmental here and say that she has a reason to do that, but a few things did come out, and she did mention that I've been a burden to them, which is a very peculiar statement. One, I don't live next to her, I don't live with her, she doesn't provide for me. I've been with her brother ever since. If she has been, they're not people you live around, so you can't even judge the visitors.
They live in the Netherlands.
They live in the Netherlands. We are here. I've been with Tob since, for almost 29 years.
Have you ever lived with them?
I have not lived with them. We visit them when we go there. And when we went with Tob, we would always stay in a hotel. We'd be with them maybe for meals here and there.
Have you ever borrowed money or lended money?
No. And whenever I'm in Holland, we'd go for lunch. She'd come pick me up from my daughter's house, and we would go for lunch on the beach or whatever. And we always had a nice time. So I wouldn't say that she's my bosom buddy, but she's my sister. Now, it's like family, it's like neighbors. Neighbors you don't choose. Friends you can choose, but neighbors you don't choose. So what God has given you is what you work with.
Right.
And I've respected them for that matter. The brother, I've always kept them informed of any happenings here, because Tob sometimes with his erratic behavior would sometimes need me to call them. But the brother would be sympathetic, and he would say, okay, fine, thanks for informing me. But it reached a point where he said, just don't tell me about him. We are not close, we'll never be. And there was no love lost between them. I think Tob is an acquired taste, let me put it that way. So
even to his siblings.
Even to his siblings. So I can understand why they would say that. And as for the sister, you know, she would tell me, please don't call me at night, because they were aware that Tob drank a lot and he would drive in the night. And they would imagine that if I'm calling at night, something has happened to him. So they were like, they're afraid to take my calls, especially when I call at night. So for her to come out with a statement and guns blaring towards me was a little bit of a surprise, because I would imagine she would be very busy helping me look for the brother. But calling shows, talk shows and interviews and engaging, even getting friends and whatever to say such things, I find that to be a bit shallow. I would have expected better of her. But then again, you know, sometimes in crisis we show our weaknesses. Correct. So, but that's her problem. I've nothing against her. I mean, for us, I'm a Christian. We believe in forgiveness. So, yeah, I leave it at that.
And just as a follow-up, when your daughter was studying, she studied in the Netherlands.
Yes.
Did she ever stay with them?
Yeah, she housed her for I think a couple of months. But families and kids are like that, you know. Before they settle down, maybe they'll put up with you for a few weeks. Her son also would come down. The whole family would come. I mean, I've never closed my house to any of them. They've always been family. If anything, it is the brother, my husband, who was always averse to having family over. But I always welcome people. It's sad because, number one, no one has ever asked me where my husband is. I just see publications flying and family on the other side, even pointing fingers at me and fervently going after me. I've seen clips of his sister vindicating me. I've seen and I've read in the newspaper, in the Dutch papers, how even one of our best clients say responsible for it's so shallow. I didn't know people can get so shallow. A man, if he was lost, would you not call his home to find out?
So nobody has ever called you from his family asking you
where
is Tob?
No, they call like after 2 weeks. The funny thing here is that according to the publications, it's the sister who started this rumor going around that the brother is missing. She knows we've always lived together in the same house. She knows, and especially in any way, it's the rule of the thumb in any emergency situation. Your personal opinion of the other one does not matter. The whole thing was for her to be able to just pick up her phone or get in touch with me and ask me where is the brother. Never done that. But because she could not reach him on the phone for a few days, she rushes to, I don't know her story, because her story is also embroiled with the lawyers and these are all people I do not know. So it gets a bit confusing. The first time I learned that my husband was missing from there is when the embassy called me to ask me if I have seen, if I know where my husband is.
There is the Dutch embassy here in
Yes,
Kenya.
the Dutch embassy.
So by the time the Dutch embassy and the sister and all these allegations are being made, he'd been gone for a while, from the 19th, right? From the 20th of
The
July.
20th afternoon is when Tob left home. And he went outside the gate and picked and got left from there, because I didn't go to the gate with him, but the workers opened the gate for him.
Okay.
Now, this is not strange, because he's always picking Ubers and taxis. He's always making friends with taxi guys or a guy who has a car there, and he'll give him the job, like to support him. which is not bad, but I've always argued that get a regular guy and somebody we know, so that if there's any problem, we would know where to look for you.
So on the day he left, could you just, what were the circumstances on the day that he left on the 20th? What had happened? What happened that day?
Okay, on the 20th, he woke up as usual, had his glass of milk, went to smoke, then goes to do his ablutions, and then he came to the kitchen and started talking to me, which is very rare. And he told me that he is tired. And I asked, tired of what? I said, tired of running. From who? The lawyers. They keep on hounding me for money.
His lawyers?
Yes.
Who are his lawyers?
There is one lawyer who is handling for him the divorce case. That is Judith Ongori. And then there is another one who comes up all the time with the publications called, he's something Dunstan Omari. His name features prominently in all those false publications he puts across. I don't know what the relationship between the two is, because I don't know if the information comes from her to him. I don't know how it works. But I feel that is Tob's side.
Okay, so Tob was tired of his lawyers calling
Those
him.
are the two lawyers I know whom he was dealing with at that time. Because there are some other cases, but they are neither here nor there. He's fighting with somebody, or he's demanding some money from some hotel, but I don't see that as he has a standing case with the Holiday Inn about some commission he wasn't paid, like in the year 2000, almost 20 years ago, which he does with another lawyer friend of his who's called Shege Kirundi. So that one, I don't know how far it has gone, but it's always on and off. But for the divorce, it is Judith Ongori and this other strange one who keeps appearing and writing funny things about me. Omari. Yes.
Okay, so that day he said he's tired of receiving those calls.
Tired of being pushed. He's tired of these people hounding him for money. So I told him, city boy, that's what I call him. I said, you are the one who took yourself to them. You know, a lawyer is all about a fee note. How did you think you are going to escape that? And I'm sure you went there knowing that you had money in the pocket to do that. What changed? And he said, no, it's too much. And whenever he says it's too much, and you can see he does not want to elaborate, probably he's embarrassed or something like that. So I asked him, so what are you going to do? Because if you don't want to work with them, you have to tell them. So are you going to change lawyers? And he said, no, I'm going to set things right. I've realized now where the problem was from the beginning. I should never have listened to them. Okay, so now I'm just listening, because this is strange talk to me after a few months of, even the day before the Saturday, he was very busy, still trying to get me arrested. So I came to learn that it's that lawyer, the Omari one, who had been pushing him to get me arrested so that he can justify letters he's been writing all over and claiming all sorts of things, that I assaulted my husband and that kind of a thing. But all in all, as a wife, you're always grateful when your spouse sees the light, because you've invested a lot together, you've shared a lot together. I could look at him and I see that, you know, he's growing old. He's going to be 70 in a few months. And here he is. He's now going back into bachelorhood. How is he going to manage? Okay, everybody can manage, I do agree. But it's pathetic that now you're throwing away your life just because of some lawyers advising you what to do. And honestly, we know very well that these people don't even care about us. Whatever they drag us or what they advise us to, nobody cares about what you go through. And I'm also a bit disappointed, because this especially the lady, she's supposed to be very prominent in practicing family law. So if she met my husband, and my husband has never been peaceful, and he's also never given peace to us, I think there is a problem there. It doesn't add up. So I tend to think that this Omari was like doing her dirty work for him and being a loudspeaker, just so that they can just mess up the divorce and have headings writing there, someone disappeared amid a messy divorce. I mean, I've never even met them. I have never met that Omari. I see he takes pictures with my husband in my house. So it means when I travel, that's why my husband fires all the stuff. Because when do these people visit? Because my staff say they don't see them. Whether they have been hoodwinked or whatever, I still have no reason to doubt them. And it's very painful when you see somebody who doesn't even know you writing stuff about you. So I would still like to meet Omari and ask him on the face exactly what his problem is, and especially his interest in my home, or their interest in my home. Yeah.
All right. So he says on the 20th that he's tired of
Yes.
Of this lawyer and all those things.
Yeah.
So, and then what happened thereafter? Before he left?
Then he went to the office, and there was some work going on with his admin, and they finished the work. And then he left some letters to be delivered on Monday to various offices. So when he finished, he told me he had done that. So I asked him what letters are those and to who are they going to, and he said he's setting things right. So I'm like, can I have a copy? Because I want to see if you're now even putting me in more fire, having just told me now you want to stop everything. And he says, yeah, I got a copy. And one letter was to the police, copied to Gigiri, Parklands, and Spring Valley, telling them that he's dropping any charges against his wife, myself, and that he was wrong now, and he needs to go away for medical treatment. And the other letter, the copy he gave me read that it was to Judy Thongori, something.
The lawyer?
Yes, his divorce lawyer, and that asking her to withdraw the divorce case, that he was wrong. Yes.
All right. So he wrote a letter to his lawyer stopping the divorce. He wrote a letter to the police asking them to
stop the harassment. Yeah.
And then he left the house.
And then, of course, went, showered. I mean, it's weekend. He would always like shower in the afternoon. And then got in his weekend gear, which is jeans, blue jeans, and a blazer.
So the last time you saw him, he was wearing blue jeans
and a blazer.
And a blazer.
Yes.
Of what color?
Tob is a conservative. He always wears blue.
Blue.
Yeah, either black or blue, but he had a blue one.
All right. And then he left the house, and that's the last time you saw him.
He left the house. Yeah, he had a small bag, a little pool. Actually borrowed from me because I'm always traveling with all these small ones. So he took one of mine. So that to me indicated either a very short stay or a weekend somewhere.
Okay.
Yes.
And you've not heard or seen him since?
No, I haven't heard. When he made the decision that he needs to seek medical, I asked him if he wants us to book anything for him, a flight or accommodation, and he said no, he will do it. And this was, we were talking about Thailand. So he's become very well versed with Thailand because we do medical tourism and we promote the Thailand hospitals here. And that is what made all of us believe that he was going to Thailand. Yes.
On the day he left, what did he drive out? How did he leave? Mode of transportation?
No, he did not drive his car. His car is still parked on the lot. But he took a car from outside the gate.
Is it an Uber or?
I do not know. Mzee has a way of just going out and calling Ubers, a taxi, and probably somebody else he wants to give a job to. So I didn't check. I mean, the admin is the one who opened the gate for him. So that's how it was.
And the letters that you're saying he left, do you still have the copies of those letters? You do, right?
Yeah.
Have you shared this information with the police or with his sister or his brother?
Family, no. Remember, I only spoke to them last weekend. The police have their copies, and my lawyer.
Okay, so they have copies of those letters.
Yes.
According to reports we've seen in the media, they're claiming that those letters may not necessarily be authentic.
That depends on who's reading and why they will make all this fuss about their disappearing. I mean, it's been one lie after another. And I'm so happy because people who know me, including friends that we have together, families we have together, friends in his home country, are calling and just ask for his safe return. But they cannot imagine that Sarah would be that cruel. That's not me. Yeah. I value family very much, and you can go around and ask. Not in the village, my own family. I've brought up so many people out there. I'm always out helping people to get, especially the young people, to get to their potential. If people are sick or whatever, I do my bit, because I know that without people also I would also not be where I am. So that is somebody full of malice, and who has a certain goal in mind. And I don't know if they have achieved that. And I don't know if they feel that they are successful. They were successful in that smear campaign. But I would want to say that it is never too late to come and know me.
Okay. Finally, if Tob is watching out there, what is your direct message to him?
City boy, what do I tell you? It's been very difficult digesting all that is happening right now. I know what you said when you left, but I would also want to request you, if you can get this message, get in touch as soon as possible. Every other thing we can sort out on the ground, but you need to come home. It's my prayer that you're safe and sound, but it is not going well here. People need to see you. You need to come out and quell this whole tirade of falsehood, of hatred, of accusations, and make it sooner, please, than later. Thank you.
And finally, to anybody else who's listening out there, the media, siblings and lawyers and all those things, any message for them? Direct message?
I will say I forgive those who actually started the smear campaign against my name. I would also say that people don't attack you because they know you, or they're just misinformed. So please don't feel that you owe me any apology. But I would want you to know that every time you publicize any false information, you're not just hurting Sarah, you're hurting anybody related to me, you're hurting anybody who believes in me, you're hurting my family, my children. So it's about time that you also thought, before you put something forward, how would you or your family feel if this happened? You have brought in the media. I'm saying that you have brought in a lot of commotion in the family. How come you're not busy helping me look for my husband, or assisting even the police look for my husband? You're so busy pointing fingers, because that is what people who don't want to look further do. So be reasonable, have some value in you, and respect our privacy. And as somebody some time back says, if it's of no value, if it has no anything to do with you, please respect people and leave them to their own. If you're not helping, don't be part of the problem either. Thank you.
Mpasua Msonobari TV, pale ambapo habari hukutana na wataalamu.